Hey, so I wanted to share my experience with the ascension process and awakening and how I see it as cycles of ups and downs, where the up is enjoyable feelings of being connected and at peace or having clarity or synchronicities, things like that. And then the down is the dark night of the soul, where things are falling apart, you feel very disconnected, you can feel kind of brain fog, like you're not really sure what's going on. You could have lots of physical symptoms, or just generally feeling directionless and lost and hopeless and in pain because of things that are falling apart in your life, or things that you want to happen that are not happening, and just kind of feeling lonely. Maybe I've certainly felt very lonely, and then in the high moments the loneliness just disappears. How I see it now is that the whole ascension process is kind of like a snake that grows bigger and then sheds the snakeskin. So during the ups of the cycle, the snake is growing bigger and you're filling yourself with more love and more joy and more light, but then you reach a point where it's like the pressure is building and you can't have the same snakeskin anymore because you've outgrown it. So now you have to shed the old, and I think that's when you kind of come down and you're realizing what it is that you're losing, and you realize what it is that you're releasing, and it's very painful. And then this just keeps happening over and over. You keep growing bigger, you shed it, you grow bigger, you shed it. So when this was first starting to happen, I was really freaked out. I didn't know what was going on. But now that I've been through this cycle so many times, it's still not easy, but at least I have some kind of awareness that I've been through this before, and that when you go through the low points, you do come back up. So far, anyway. I believe that we do. We're not going to stay in the dark night of the soul forever. It could be a long time, but life, life is cycles. We're not just going to stay stagnant in a certain area. So another analogy of this is like a rose or a peony or any flower with many layers of petals. So the pressure inside of the bud is going to build as the petals go bigger, and then eventually it will cause the outermost layer to unfold, and that's the releasing, and then the pressure will build up again, and then the next layer will release. So I found that analogy to be very helpful for me, because it explains why there's all these ups and downs, and the ascension is not just a linear process of going up. It seems that we need to have these cycles for whatever reason. It's like we take in the new, take in the light, and then at some point we have to release whatever we need to release in order to, I guess, keep taking in more light. And it makes sense that there is a certain timing of it. Like the snake can't just grow from like really small to really big and just shed its skin one time. It needs to grow more slowly and shed its skin many times as it's growing bigger. Just like the flower can't just automatically open like all of the petals in like one day. It needs to open the petals, like one layer at a time. So it is more cyclical than linear, and we have these ups and downs for a reason. It seems that everyone I've talked to has experienced the same type of thing. So the dark night of the soul very much has a purpose, and you're not doing anything wrong when it seems like everything's going really great and then like bam, it all falls apart. That is the next step. We think that we've backtracked, but it's not. It's that it is actually moving forward to go into the dark night of the soul, because there are things that are not you, that you are learning that are not you, that are going to be released from your experience and from your ego's perception of yourself. So a big part of this is trusting that there's a timing to it, and that your higher self is like overseeing the whole process, and there's not actually anything you, the ego, need to be doing to be like, oh, I'm gonna be in the light phase now and I'm gonna be in the dark night of the soul now. Like, it's not up to the ego to do that. It's happening beyond the ego, and the ego just go along for the ride, and it doesn't like it for the most part. But the reason it doesn't like it is because we're learning that there's a lot more to us than just the ego, and that freaks the ego out. And mostly the dark night of the soul, because of the ego's resistance to whatever we're being asked to let go of. So have faith that the whole process is being overseen by a loving force that is doing this for your ultimate good, and you will understand one day, be able to look back and like see how it all worked out. But you don't have to see that now in the moment when you're releasing the old and it's really, really painful. You don't have to try to see it or understand it or any of that. For me, a lot of the lesson, I think, is just presence, to just be here and just be okay with what is happening. So, hope that was helpful. Thank you for watching.